The Heat-Pacers rivalry is a rivalry where you just sense the dislike between both teams.
But anytime we play the Pacers, we understand that we're in for a four-quarter fight, from the beginning to the end.
I think it's fun, to tell you the truth.
Definitely a rivalry right there. It's two teams that don't like each other.
I'm still feeling some of the pain and some of the aches from it.
Oh, now we've got on the opposite end. We've got Anderson and Hansbrough shoving at one another.
They hate us. We hate them.
You take a shot to the back of Wade.
Just takes him by the neck and throws him down.
It brings out a different side of us.
He'll put it chest to West, and those two are really drawn on one another.
Teams hate us. They started hating us first, so.
He has words for Chalmers.
Look at this shot in the head from Dwayne Wade.
Man, I'm not looking forward to that one. It'll be a good rivalry again.
Rematch of last season's Eastern Conference Finals, and the Pacers have made no secret of their desire to get home court, as they should. They believe that the only reason that they lost last year's Eastern Conference Finals was because Game 7 was in Miami. They got the best record in defense in the NBA right now. Heat, best shooting team. They meet in Indiana Tuesday, then 8 days later in Miami.
Well, and the other reason was Miami has LeBron James.
Right, yeah. Speaking of LeBron James, a tweet and Instagram from Dwayne Wade, Chicago native and Bears fan. Watching this amazing Bears game, King James doesn't look too happy. LeBron James, of course, a well-known Cowboys fan, sitting with teammate Michael Beasley there. Beasley, D.C. area guy, so you would assume he's a Redskins fan, so he probably is getting some delight in watching the Cowboys get. After a crushing defeat in the Eastern Conference Finals last year, the Pacers put a bullseye on the Heat and made getting past Miami a major goal for their season.
Yeah, Indiana's saying home court advantage will be the advantage it needs. And the Pacers with the home court for the first of 4 regular season dribbles against LeBron James and the reigning champions. James and Paul George going to get the video attention while attending to each other. And James setting the pace against the Pacers, spinning on George there. Gold swagger, he didn't care. Isolates George, the backs in. Miami was up 30-19 after 1, and then James putting the defensive pressure on George. 16 points off 13 turnovers in the first half for Miami. George had 5 of those turnovers. He had 2 points on free throws. James, 10 points, 4 of 8, and just 2 turnovers in the first half. Heat up 7 at the half, but Indiana has trailed at half in more than half their games this season. And Roy Hibbert played like a man possessed, and why wouldn't he? His 27th birthday is Wednesday. The Pacers take the lead on the old-fashioned 3. Hibbert had 24, and then George, he's number 1 in the NBA in second half scoring at just under 16 points per second half. The jumper, and then the first field goal. You take it if you saw another look at it, and then look at this. Man, I might be able to make that. No, probably not. 20 feet, there's no defenders near. Back-to-back threes he hit. The Pacers led by 4 after 3. They outscored Miami 28-17 in the third, but I thought Dwayne Wade had bad knees. James finds him. James had a double-double, 17 and 14. Wade 17, but the Heat 30 in the first quarter, just 54 the rest of the game. George finishes with 17 and 4 assists, and the Pacers win 90-84. And let's all celebrate Roy Hibbert's birthday.
They're the best team in the NBA, back-to-back champs. We didn't bring it at a high level in the first, so we just wanted to go out there and play aggressive, keep them off the boards. Nothing easy, and I'm happy.
We came out with a mindset that we want to get a win to end this road trip the right way. Over 500, and we had our chances, and we just didn't capitalize, the best way we could. But I thought for the most part we played a great game.
They're a good team. Obviously they're at home. They use their crowd, they use their energy, come in and change it to get back in to tie the game up. And then from that point on, it was a game. So, you understand that a team, that's won every game at home this year. They're gonna make a run, and they made their run, and then from there, it's who made the most plays, and they was able to make more plays than us, overall.
When we play against the Heat, we taking it as a championship game, and we trying to get that #1 seed. So every time we on the court, we gonna take it like a tough game in the championship game.
It's always a foreshadow of what, postseason could look like. So it has, that playoff effect to it.
Well, Indiana has been so efficient in its offense. LeBron James for preventing Paul George from being efficient in the first half. Again, 0 for 4, the 5 turnovers with James on him. But then when James picked up his 3rd foul, they had to switch. George takes advantage, goes 4 for 7, scores 15 points, and leads the Pacers to the win. Tim Legler joins us, and Tim, Paul George's poise and his game were both missing in the first half. How did he eventually find them?
Well, eventually he pretty much went into halftime, settled down, came out, and became the Paul George that we've seen all year long. But in the first half, I really thought it was about Miami's defense on him. They were aggressively blitzing him all over the floor every time he touched it beyond a three-point line, forced him into 5 turnovers. And then he loses his composure after turning the ball over, kind of drifts back. He's talking to the official. He's in no man's land defensively, and Chris Anderson slides behind him for an easy dunk. That pretty much summed up Paul George's first half. In the second half, he really got going. Ray Allen was guarding him, ran him off some screens, got some catch-and-shoot opportunities, which he didn't get at all in the first half, and it's a big part of his game. Knocked down a couple, and then you see the confidence he has on this play where he misses the first 3. Scola runs it down, gives it right back to him. He knocks it down again. So he has a big second half offensively. After not only not playing well in the first half, he really hurt the Pacers in the first half.
After the game, Frank Vogel said a statement win. That's a term for the media to write about and not for him to talk about. Will you talk about it?
Yeah, I absolutely will. Well, they're always going to say that, but these are statement games when they play. The reason being, everyone knows these two teams are on a collision course for the Eastern Conference Finals. They know it. And the Indiana Pacers have said repeatedly, the Heat are their gauge. That's their barometer. And they want to get the #1 seed so that when they meet up again in the Conference Finals, if it does go deep into that series, that last game will be back in their building. So this is a statement for them. And now let's see if Miami circles the calendar a little bit, because they're down there next Wednesday, and I'll be down there. And I can't wait to see if Miami wants to maybe send a little bit of a message back to them that they are pretty darn good down there as well, because I think they know the confidence that the Pacers would have if they met later in the year, if they can now go into Miami and beat them twice in a week.